Okay, this is part 4 of this exercise on the open position of C major scale, and this is the final one. So I'm going to hopefully conclude with this one and tie up a few loose ends. And but again, to recap, the open position of the C major scale is and that's all the notes of the C major scale where they would land in that open position. And again, and then we discuss modes within scales. So if you look at lesson 2, you'll see I focused on the E Phrygian mode within the C major scale. And then we did the A minor scale, A Aeolian mode. There's also another mode in there, but I'm not going to go into that because it would just be a little too boring for now. But there's a few other modes actually. The G Mixolydian starting on G and ending on G. But they're all within this box. I'll just finish off. The G Mixolydian mode would be. So there's another scale within a scale starting on G and ending on G. That's the G Mixolydian mode over 2 octaves. Basically, if you pick up your guitar and you're running through your open position of the C major scale, not thinking about any of the modes, you're going to be running through them in any way. And that's just a good way. Sometimes you can think about it if you like, thinking in the E Mixolydian mode, just to get used to the modes and the sounds, or the A Aeolian. There's also a D Dorian starting on the D note. Kind of jazzy. As your resolving note. But as I said again, if you just pick up your guitar and you just run over the open position of the C major scale, you're going to be running through these modes in any way, naturally, but just have a listen out for them with the ear and that. So again, you could pick it up and just kind of, and I found it a nice way to just kind of mess with the guitar. Also kind of training the ear to hear different modal notes or scales, that kind of stuff. Now, just to conclude here, the open position C major scale, there are many notes, many chords that you can that are derived from the C major scale. So that's taking just say certain notes from the scale and putting 3 notes together makes a chord as such. So you know, if I have it on the board here, which I'll show you, but just quickly, if you take, just say, at the end of the position, let's say, if you take that note, and that note from the scale, you got an A minor chord using the A note as well. If you took that note, that note from the, you got a D minor, and C, obviously, because it's C major. You got a G chord. The G Mixolydian mode is nice over there. You got an E minor. Again, if you did the E minor, you could just do your E Phrygian mode, the E to E. Again, just look back over the other exercises. the other lessons, I think the E Phrygian was the second one. So there's E minor, A minor, the Aeolian mode. You did D minor chord. You could do D Dorian mode. We didn't cover that, but I'll just quickly do it now. It's just D to D, so you'd have D, open 2, 3, open 2, open 1, 3, starting on the D string here. 3, 1, open 2, open 3, 2, open, just over one octave, you know. And then you just want to mix it all up. Within that encompasses many modes. We covered the Phrygian, we covered the, what was the other one? We covered the Aeolian, I showed you the Mixolydian, the Dorian, and I'll just show you now how the chords are derived from the scale, just using a sequence of 3 of the notes to try out. I'll just show you there now. So you would have, there's another 2 modes, the G Mixolydian mode, the D Dorian mode. We didn't really cover those, but just to show you there and there, that's the notes of the Mixolydian, the G Mixolydian, same as the C major scale, just starting on a D Dorian again, same as the C major scale. There's the C major scale. That's the open position of the C major scale. That's the, if you go back to lesson 1, you'll see that. And then if you look here, you just say an A minor chord can be taken from this position. If you just took that note, and that note, there's your A minor, and then you could use the open A there. There's your E minor, would be just that note, and then a few of the open strings would make up the D minor, that note, that note, that note. So you kind of get the idea. Now there's a G taking. So this is basically how chords are taken from scales. Scales, they say, are the building blocks of music. So this is has been a study in C major, and we've used the open position. And there's a D minor 7 chord. It's a nice chord you could take from it. Now there are many more obscure chords that you could begin. There's an F major 7, just taking that note, that note, and that note. That's a nice one there. Again, always using some of the open strings to make to enhance the flavor of the sound of the chord. That's, let's see, a B minor flat 5. You can see those 4 notes there. Just the thing. Yeah. There's an A minor G. So you're just taking an A minor, and then you just take the G note. There it is. There. Take it and just plonk on the G note there. A D minor C. So you're having a main minor chord, and you're just adding on a C note. A lot of songwriters would use this kind of thing, combining 2 different chords, kind of thing, or a main chord with just a different flavor of a note, and so on. So there's many of the chords that can be taken from the C major scale, and then you just improvise with your modes. Okay, and Sinead, that's it for now. Okay, bye.